We're your hosts, Sally F. and Damon Phillips. We're here to help you rethink your money mindset, navigate family finances, and create financial peace without losing sight of what truly matters. It's a little bit practical, a little bit personal, and a whole lot of transformative. So grab your coffee, friend, because it's time to talk real life and real money. Episode 10. We're going to call this the final episode of season 1. And this one's called What We Wish We Knew 30 years ago. 30 years ago. We were
children.
We were babies. We've talked a lot about communication, budgeting goals, but today we're going to zoom way back. If you could sit in front of us, 20-something-year-old us, what would you say? I know what I'd say is it's all going to be okay. And all this saving that he wants to do, you're going to be glad for it, Sally. That's what I'd say to me.
I would tell myself, you need to learn to relax now and to listen to you when it's time to have fun. That it doesn't all have to be getting to the destination, because sometimes that's all you're looking at. You kind of miss some good times.
Mhm.
I think I did that along the way, unfortunately, but not so much now. I think we've slowed down.
Sure.
But that's definitely a lesson that I think my younger self would have needed to know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, no one can go back to there, but I guess, the purpose of asking questions like that is realizing how we've grown or changed. Or I'm not a big fan of regret, but can we look back and consider how we might have done things differently?
I always like what you've said in the past is that, when you look back, you can ask yourself, look how much I've learned,
Yeah.
or look how much I've changed. That's the way I used to be. And look where we are now. That definitely makes a difference, especially for me.
Well, and on a day-to-day basis, you don't see yourself changing, right? It does sometimes take looking back over a big period of time to realize, oh yeah, we've changed quite a bit. And I wanted to spend if it was in the checking account, I thought that meant free game. And that I've learned to not only not spend but the amount of money that I like in the checking account has grown over time. And I would have never believed that I could leave money in the account when we first started out.
Leaving money in the coffers. Nice.
The coffers, that's a word. Okay, so I would like to ask you,
Okay.
and I think we've kind of hit on that a little bit already, but what do I bring to the table? And what do you think you brought to the table? Like if you hit one sentence.
I feel that you always put family first, and that should be the main driver of our lives. And I feel that I put first our financial security, maybe ahead of everything, and because I simply wanted to be prepared for anything that may pop up.
Sure. And I would say what you bring to the table it's funny because the thing that you see, I don't know if you view it as a positive, is I think maybe the ways you went about doing it, you're not proud of, but I am super grateful for the life that we have because of the choices you made.
We made them, but yeah.
I would have never made them. I feel like I followed your lead. I don't know. So I'm grateful for, even though it was rough in the early years, I am grateful for the decisions you made and for the financial choices you made for our family and the way we get to enjoy life now. What do I think I bring to the table? Just a different view. And the whole premise of this podcast was how in opposition, I hate to use those words, but we had opposing beliefs. We have a lot of opposing beliefs still, but instead of looking at the thing that we are different, I prefer to spend time and energy focusing on what we have in common and what our common goals are.
I would even say that one of the things we do much better now after 32 years of marriage is that we communicate better. Sometimes people get older and they just don't talk anymore. I've heard that. That's not us. But I feel like we actually talk more now that we're empty nesters, maybe simply because the dogs get tired of me talking to them. But you always listen, and we communicate, and we talk about even our differences. We still communicate to each other. So I think that's a positive.
If I had, if there's one takeaway, it is what you just said: communication, talking, not avoiding those hard situations, whether they're money related, whatever the topic is, not ignoring it is having it. And I will say this, when we had the gym, we were together 24/7, and he started talking about wanting to go on coffee dates, and I was like, "Dude, we're together 24/7. Why do we need a coffee date?" We never really dated, like, when the kids are grown up, I don't remember us going out, like, just you and I. No, we'd leave them with the grandparents once in a while, and we'd go do things, and we'd, travel a tiny bit without them, but we didn't do a lot. But anyways, all that to say, those coffee dates have evolved into, I would say, a percent of our best conversations are in a coffee date for whatever it does to get us out of the house, to get into neutral territory.
My mistake, I think we have a saying in our family is that, money doesn't buy you happiness, it only brings you choices. And I hung on to that as my mantra. But unfortunately, what I never thought of, because this is the stage of life that we're in now, is that I never thought about the choices. I only thought about the buildup. I got to make
Yeah,
sure that
get
we
making
get to the
choices.
end so we have enough. And then I can worry about choosing. And I never even thought about what is it that I'm going to do. Now, fortunately, one of the things we figured out now that we retired is that we really enjoy traveling. The first trips we took was in a car, and I am not a big car travel guy. And it was probably one of the best trips I ever had.
Yeah.
Was with you. So that would, long story there is to say yes, the buildup was good, it was fortunate, but I just never spent the time thinking about the choices I was going to be able to make.
Sure. I made a financial mistake in college when I had no money. Some guys came knocking on the door selling magazine subscriptions or something, and they conned me into believing that if I bought two subscriptions separately, whatever, it would help them. And so I bought them, and then when they left, and they had kind of set me up to where, you can cancel, we still get the perks. So they left, and when I went to cancel, there was like a $25 fee associated with canceling. And if you didn't cancel, then you had the fee of keeping the subscription. I mean, $25 was a lot of money to me at the time. And I learned in that moment, it was a big mistake, but the lesson I learned from that and that I still carry this day is anytime I feel pressured, you got to do this day or you don't get this price.
Nope.
You got to do it now. I immediately walk out. This is a one time only offer. I don't care if it's 80% off. Something in me is still a little triggered by that. Do it now or you lose it. And I walk away. So that's I don't know if that's a great, I don't like to be pressured to buy things.
Good thing to know about yourself.
That was from 1980 something. A piece of wisdom. Is there something you can say that you spent time learning financially?
Think for me, I realized that once I save slash invest the money for us, say in the market, and I used to look at the computer religiously every day, look at our investments, and it was emotion, and we need to change it. And that's the worst thing I could have done. Is just I needed to believe in the decisions that we made, the choices that we made in our investments, and then what I've learned with time is that hey, go back and look at it 6 months or a year. Give it a chance to do something other than just move one day, good or bad, and then look at it and say, okay, has it performed well and done what we wanted it to do? Great. Not, hey, now we can make a change and move it to something else and then give that a chance to grow for us or not.
Yeah.
So
I've always said that looking at the financials every day, that investment financial, I'm not talking about your checking account. I don't have a problem with looking at that every day. As a matter of fact, I would probably recommend it is knowing what you have. But as far as investments, and watching them every day, to me, that's the same as getting on the scale every day. It doesn't do great things for my brain. And I don't know that I would argue that it does any good for anybody.
I mean, it's a losing game. I mean, it's up and down. If it's up, you think, oh, we're doing better than you are, and if it's down, we're losing everything. And it's an emotional roller coaster that you don't have to get on. I mean, we would tell our clients, you bought your investment for a reason. Why did you buy it? Why did you believe in it? And has that changed from the time that you purchased it? And if the answer is no, okay, let's give it time to do what we bought it for, and then come back and go through the checklist at the 6 month or the year mark and then make changes. People just want the best right now. And I'm
Sure.
guilty of it too,
Sure.
but it doesn't work.
So I would ask you to think towards your future as we wrap this up. You know, what we wish we knew, think towards the future. Do you know where you even want to go? Have you defined it? Because otherwise, how will you know when you get there? Otherwise, it's just this nebulous thing that you're chasing, whatever. So if it's we want X dollars in the bank, we want to put our kids through college, we want to be able to travel, to what end? You know, have your goal set from the beginning.
You definitely need to plan for it. I tell people all the time, I used to think of my life in chapters, when I go to school, when I get a job, when I get married, when I have kids, when they grow up. I never looked past once I retired. To me, that was the final chapter. I retired. Never looked past that. And now I'm in it and I'm like, oh, all this time, what am I going to do? I like lifting weights. Okay. How many times can you lift weights during the day?
I know this at one point in our early retirement, he was at the gym 4 times a day.
I simply didn't know what else to do with my time. Now, since then, I've found some things
He
that I
has found
enjoyed
something.
doing, but it's just like I never thought to that point.
Sure.
And, I think that's something that you're saying is that if you're going to visualize, go ahead and visualize all the way out. That way, once you get there, you can decide, okay, this is what I was thinking and it's really working for us. Or, nope, I need to find something else.
Sure.
And I would say you did it much better than I did, much faster than I did once we hit retirement.
I tried a lot of things. I did a lot of things.
You did.
I
You did.
kept, that's one thing about me is I will go. So as we wrap this season up, if we have, a lot of our decisions were made, we have a lot of traction. That's not you. And you're like, listen, we haven't saved for college fund and our kids are about to, start high school or they're about to start college. Wherever you're at, it's not too late to rewrite your story. And so take that, grab one piece of advice that we've given, one piece of inspiration. I don't know if could even call what we've done give advice, but um, take one thing and make a change, even if it's just mindset about what you believe about your money.
And I would always say, when we talk on our coffee dates, we always kind of have an action plan, a call to action. And I think basically that's what you're telling them is that find one thing, just one thing. When we used to coach, it was like change one thing, drink some water. Okay. Maybe you sit down and talk about your budget. So, I mean, if you can find one thing and do it
Face it.
and then do it, then it's like, okay, we did that. What's the next thing we could do? That way you're not trying to change everything at one time. You're simply making changes that are going to help you slowly.
I talked to somebody recently and I think they put through Chat GPT. We want a budget that's under X dollars a month. We want it somewhat healthy, blah, 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 and it gave them the grocery list, the recipes, the whatever. Super easy. And it's the total of the budget was about a third of what they're normally spending. And they're like, we can't lose. Even if we double what this plan is, we still saved a third of our budget. And if we execute it, we've saved 2/3. Either way, though, thinking of it as an experiment. This is just something we're going to try. We're going to try it for 1 month. If that gives you any freedom to make a change, to think of it as just an experiment. This is a financial experiment. We're going to try it. If we hate it, we can go back to the ways that we were doing it. So
I like AI. I will say that.
I love it.
I would not have been a good student during this time because I would
No,
have
would have been
used it like.
flagged. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming along on this journey with us, and we hope to see you again.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today. If you know somebody who would benefit from this episode, we would love it if you shared it with them. And if you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, we'd love a 5-star rating and a review. If you're listening on Spotify, hit follow and tap that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribing's the way to go. If you're ready to take control of your money and your mindset, I offer one-on-one coaching to help you thrive financially and personally. We'll see you soon for another Real Life Money Talk.